get through all the preliminary stuff, the meeting's pretty short.
It won't the plastic do, makes it slippery.
Let me start over. I'd like to call this meeting of the Columbia County Board of Commissioners to order. This time, we'd have Commissioner Duncan offer up our invocation.
Please pray with me. Gracious Father, we thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for allowing us to live in a great county. Pray that you be with us tonight, wisdom and discernment as we go through issues that need decisions. I pray that everything we would do would glorify you. Amen.
Amen.
Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic, one nation, under God, visible, liberty, justice for all.
We do have a quorum tonight with all members of the commission present. The first order of business, as usual, is to approve the minutes of our previous meeting of March 29th. If you're satisfied with their content, we'll accept a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Second.
No items of discussion. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Mr. Johnson, are you aware of any changes to our agenda, other than
Chairman.
what's already been noted?
Just one item for your consideration. Mr. Driver's going to bring a legal matter. It's a subordination agreement with the Family Y. An item that we took action on earlier, but there needs to be a little more action on this. We would ask that you consider to add that.
And that would come under legal matters?
Yes, sir, J2.
Okay. And again, I'd like to welcome you to this meeting and remind you once again that these proceedings are videotaped. Be glad to furnish you a copy if you'd like one by notifying our county clerk here. We'll see that one is sent to you. Also, that these proceedings will be posted on the county website after a couple of days. Remind you, too, that you're invited to speak to this body. If you're not already on the agenda, we ask that you fill out a speaker form that's at the rear of the room. Bring it up to Ms. Crawley here. We'll recognize you at the proper time during the meeting. We move now to our special recognitions. This is always a good time because these are honoring Columbia County employees that's been nominated and selected from their peers. The first is our Employee of the Month, Keith Rickerson, Construction and Facilities Maintenance, Commissioner Duncan. And anyone else that might be in that division that would like to be present for the presentation.
Keith?
Got John Paul Stout and Joe Jackson.
Well, it's my honor and privilege to be the month with Keith. He works in the maintenance, construction facility department. You've actually saved somebody's cell phone. Is that right? Did I read that correctly? They had the situation where the person had dropped it in a reflecting pool 4 feet deep, and you got waiters and went there and dug it out for the person. And luckily, they had the cell phone in a case, so it worked and safe. Fantastic. Only about a year and a half. Long career with the county. John Paul?
I nominated Keith. Shows up to work every day, positive attitude. He's responsible for a lot of the beautification projects you see throughout the county. Really, one he recently did in York Appling celebration, and where Keith saved the young man's cell phone was just another example of how Keith is willing to be Johnny on the spot to help out a fellow employee or citizen that very deserving of this model employee.
Keith is a very dedicated employee, and I know that Chairman Cross likes to see polished around Evans Town Center Park, and he does a phenomenal job keeping up with it. Exceptional employee.
next
Also have
award
our-
is our team of the first quarter, Chris Atkins and Kerry Simmons from the Sheriff's Bike Patrol. See them pedaling around all the time.
Come on up, gentlemen. The team of the quarter, and it's an interesting article that I read, or write up on you guys. We actually met a young man who's 3 years old and came up to you and said that he loved policemen. Who was it that got him the car?
Dropping a tag off at the tag office. Walked in but we went to the tag office and walked in where he was just saying, "There's the police." Looked over and standing up in the chair, hat on and a police shirt and a little badge and a belt with all his gear so I was like, "Hey buddy, how are you?" And he come over there and give me a hug and give me a high five and started asking where everything was at on the belt. I got down to his level and was talking to him and talked for a few minutes. Asked a ton. Lady come over. I thought it was his family situation. Got done talking to him. Gotta go. I said, "We gotta go." Their brother just got me. So left and got to talking. Brought up the idea. Started looking on. Bring back here about it, and I got. Danny Rodriguez from Waynesboro. Connection of a lot of people. But fast, I think he's worn it out. So.
I think what you see in Columbia County is not only the Blue Lives Matter, but the important part is citizens' lives matter to these guys. Did all you do. Congratulations and thank you very much. Y'all can share that. You can spread it around a month each.
We appreciate what all of you do for the county and our citizens. Thank you very much. Before we move on to presentations, I thought I saw a couple of Boy Scouts come in. Really, do we have some Scouts here with us? I wonder if you would stand and give us your name and tell us the troop that you represent. Thank you for being here and hope you learned something tonight. Going out to our presentations, this is another one of the things we enjoy seeing. We're giving out, well, don't take it that way. The county's not giving it out. The committee for the Columbia County Charity Gala making their check presentations, and I'd like to invite Michael Seward, Lisa McCullum, and Susie Allen to come forward and make those presentations.
Very big checks.
We got some big checks, yeah.
But if Michael Seward has anything to do with it, they're going to be big checks.
It's always a thrill to be a part of this event every year and to give back to our community, to our county. So the first check we have to offer is the Columbia County Cares Food Pantry. I think someone is here tonight to check.
Come on,
We
Dave.
haven't been to the gala every year. It's a lot of fun, and again, it's for such a great cause.
How much did they get?
They got $6,322.76.
All right.
You may want to describe your organization and what you do with the money.
Columbia County Cares helps less fortunate people in our county. And we serve nearly 300 families a month out of our facility in Abilene. Provide them with a week's worth of groceries, and they can come back the next month and leave some groceries. And we've been doing this for going on to 20 years now. And we're going to be celebrating our 20th year and our annual fundraiser and spaghetti supper in September. So we're looking forward to that. But I want to thank our community for coming out and enjoying the gala, particularly our corporate sponsors who pitch in and help us to raise funds and make this a very, very viable activity for all the units. And I want to give particular credit to our executive director, Dave Iverson, has for the last 5 years served as a volunteer in that operation to keep us going and to help people in the county. And Dave, say a couple of words, please.
Columbia County Cares, like he said, we're getting into our 20th year, is 100% volunteers. We have no paid staff. We are 100% donation supported for both. Richard Rogers was there about 2 weeks ago, and he said, "What do you need?" And I said, "The same thing that every pantry needs: food, money, and volunteers." Got time. We could not operate that facility without two groups of people. One are our volunteers. Certainly, I get maybe 15, 20 volunteers a day, and these are people that want to come, want to do it. But we don't require them to come. The other one's Columbia. I can't say enough about the support we get. Work that we get out there. They're there when we need them. Ask.
Thank you. The next check we're presenting is to Columbia County Arts Development Fund. Again, $6,322.76. Do we have anyone here accepting this check tonight? We'll make sure it gets in the right hands.
Scott, go get that check.
We'll take that check.
Columbia County Forward Foundation. Here tonight. We raised a lot of money. We have another $6,322.76. So we have a lot of fun at the gala, and we raise a lot of money, which is always fun. So please come and support us again next year, and we can give these wonderful foundations and businesses some more money.
And of course, that event is manned mostly by volunteers, the originators of it, and then some assistance from the county. So always happy to see this come to such good fruition for an event for the citizens of the county. Our next presentation item is on behalf of a Greg Grabowski Citizens Group concerning the appeal for stormwater order issued to Magnolia Valley. Mr. Craig Spinks.
Hey, Craig.
Doug, how you doing? I'm Craig Spinks of 5092 Bryant Cove Drive, and I would like to thank Mr. Johnson for persuading Mr. Sullivan to agree to put in some retention ponds over there on that property on the Few Parkway. And in that vein, and in consideration of what the man for whom that road out front is named, President Reagan, I'd just like to see a copy of the stop work order itself. I sent you an email earlier today.
And I've got that. I got a copy of the stop work order, and I can send that to you. I'll just
Okay.
forward it to the same email I just got it a few minutes
Yeah,
ago.
okay, I appreciate it. But thank you for getting him to agree to that, because if you've seen the Uchi Creek, twice since the first of the year, the floods down there are pretty serious. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I would say I had not very much to do with that. Our staff has definitely been involved in that from the beginning, and just to make sure that any developer does the right thing. Our staff does a good job of staying on them, so I appreciate the words, but I had very little to do with that.
Well, I would like to add that they have finally agreed to put in some sedimentation ponds, not necessarily retention ponds, and the drawings are being reviewed, and once everything is approved with that, the stop work order will be lifted.
The drawings have actually been approved.
Been approved.
Right now, it's Mr. Sullivan's hands. He has to implement the plan, and once everything is implemented, the stop work order will be released.
And we'll be dealing with the request to withdraw the appeal later on in the meeting. We do have some people wishing to speak on our massage therapy ordinance. We want to delay those until we get to that part in the agenda. I think we'll have some different direction on that, but I'll leave that up to Commissioner Allen when it gets there. Gentlemen, we go now to our consent agenda. These are items that's been on through committee and received the necessary 3 votes to be put on consent. If you're satisfied with this list of items, we'll accept a motion for their approval as one vote.
So moved.
Second.
Any items needing any discussion? All in favor, please raise your right hand. We go now to our debate agenda. Get the right page.
Page 3.
Under new business, Vice Chair Allen.
Actually, sir, I believe Mr. Duncan has
I
something
believe
first.
I have one motion first, sir.
You do have one ahead of him, I'm sorry.
Thank you, sir. I'll make a motion to approve the service agreement between Restart Augusta.
I'll second.
Motion and a second for this.
Word in between, sorry.
I was going to say, you threw between in there.
I threw a between in.
With
sorry.
restart, okay. Yeah.
Withdraw the word between.
The service agreement for Restart Augusta,
Yes, sir, thank you.
between them and the county.
That's why you're the boss.
Now we got it. Any discussion of this item? All in favor? Okay. Now, Vice Chair Allen, I believe we're ready.
Sir. First, I would like to make a motion to approve the first reading of the following streetlight district resolutions. 16-1220 SLD, 454 East Cambridge, 454E, Clarenbridge 1, 16-221 SLD, 454F, Hartstown 1, 16-1222 SLD, 514 Whispering Pines, PHA, Section 1, and 16-1223 SLD 429C, Indian Springs, Section 3, Phase 2.
These are requests to create streetlight districts either from the residents of those areas or from the developer, I assume.
Yes, sir.
Any comments? All in favor? Mr. Allen, you have the topic of the night, and after much discussion, would you just like to give us a rundown of what you have decided, how you've decided to pursue this?
Well, do we want to let the participants speak a little bit first, sir, to hear their point of
Well,
view?
I think it would be better to let them know your plans, and then if they would still like to speak at this time, we recognize.
Okay. After discussion with a couple of individuals regarded that this would be an effect on, and with apologies to any confusion about whether this was on the agenda tonight or not, I would like to make a motion to table ordinance number 16-07, deleting Chapter 22, Business and Business Regulations, Article 4, Reserved, and establishing Chapter 22, Business and Business Regulations, Article 4, Massage Service, for further review until the May 17th, 2016 meeting of the Board of Commissioners, and to implement a moratorium on new licenses for the massage service until that time.
I'll second that.
All right, we've had 3 people asked to speak, and I don't know exactly in what order, but we'll just start with Leanne Keels.
thank you, Chairman Cross, and for letting me speak. I started Augusta School of Massage in 2016 and 12 years ago, we came to Columbia County. And I've spoken to you before, Chairman Cross here, and I thank you for letting me speak again.
We beat this up a few times, haven't we?
Yeah, we've been this road before. But one of my big concerns is, and this may not affect the licensed therapists at this time, but the students that we graduate from the school. And I hope that we have changed the perception of massage some because of our professionalism. But I do understand that there are still some concerns. But a lot of the therapists that are in this room tonight, not all of them, but a lot of them graduated from our school, and they have been able to establish legal, viable businesses in massage therapy. And with this, the radius, the distance radius, I think this is going to be, it will be hurtful. I don't know how hurtful, but to the point that it could cause me to lose my approval from the Department of Education, from the state of Georgia to operate as a school, and the accrediting commission that accredits us. We are an accredited school. We have won numerous awards. There's very seldom any findings when we are audited every year. And when I say findings, they may find where I missed something in accounting, okay? But we have run our business legally and faithfully and with integrity for all the years that we've been here.
Now, excuse me, how could you lose your certification as a teaching institution?
Because there are certain standards that we have to abide by, and one of those standards is gainful employment. And there's been a lot of things in the news about gainful employment over the last few years under the current president. He's made some new laws, and we have to have a percentage of our students that find viable employment when they graduate. And so with this radius, you're making it very difficult for a new therapist to start their own business, to find a location because of the 2-mile radius that's set up. And so I didn't realize there are more massage therapists in this county right now, and it's growing, but the county is growing. And the graduates, they want to be here because this is where they shop. This is where they eat. This is where they go to church. This is where they do business, and so they want to be able to they don't want to have to drive miles and miles to see their massage therapist. And I feel like this is part of economics. It's about the market. If there's not enough business for licensed massage therapists, they'll go out of business. And so you won't have to worry about those practices. But I would really just, I would like to offer my help, and the State Board of Massage Therapy has also, is also willing to help with coming to, some agreement on this. And so if you would allow us to be a part of the committee, I would just appreciate that. And I thank you so much for listening to my concerns.
Thank you. Matt Keels, I assume there's some relationship there? Okay.
My name is Matt Keels. We own Tuscany Classic Italian Spa and the Augusta School of Massage. And I have some similar and additional concerns to what Leanne mentioned. But earlier today, I had some information come to me that I guess points me in the direction of what might be going on specific to, and conversations with multiple commissioners about one of the focuses of this ordinance is to limit the number of massage therapists in the county. And it brought back a memory, because I was in this room about 11 years ago when a therapist with a business right across the line in Richmond County came before the board trying to get this to enact laws that made it more difficult for therapists to go into business at that time. putting hurdles and trying to drive away to, again, limit the number of businesses. And Chairman Cross, at that time, my language smacked her down pretty good and said, you don't even have a business here, and all you're trying to do is get the government to limit the number of businesses to help you in your business. And I actually have a recording of that, I think, in a file, because there were other things going on with that person at that time. So in a file somewhere from 11 years ago, I have that. So I am a little stunned that we have progressed from a belief in the free market controlling the factors of production to needing to control the number of factors of production from a government standpoint, which I associate with a different mode of thought than capitalism. So I am very surprised at that. A lot of concerns about what's going on in here. The 2 mile radius, again, I understand that there have been some discussions on this not allowing an operator's license to transfer, and I've been told, but I want to bring it up anyway, that part is going to be removed. In the current copy of it that in the proposed legislation I have, there was going to be not allowed the out-call business where therapists couldn't go to the sick and injured and immobile in their homes, the handicapped. But understand from a conversation my wife had with one of the commissioners that they are going to undo that and allow those people to benefit from it as they go forward. So I was just surprised at that. There are things in here about hours of operation, and a lot of the specific things in here that are only targeted at massage therapy and massage therapists, because of the wording of this current ordinance. There's not necessarily a limit on the number of massage businesses. If I'm a physician, a chiropractor, an osteopath, I can open a spa and have all the massage therapists and locations I want, because I'm exempt from this ordinance. It's only massage therapists and people dealing with specifically therapy without a medical license or other thing that are covered by this ordinance. So only those people can locate where they want to and have a business massage therapy where it's rather unfair. There's some things in here, one clause in it that says that once my operator's license is approved, I have 6 months to go into business. As a developer and as people involved with building, how often can somebody finish the purchase of a property, get their plans approved, have their facility up and built in a 6-month time frame? That is not reasonable. You have 180 days, and that is 22-83. There's a thing in here, the Planning Commission can postpone a decision by 45 days. So if you tack on 45 days to 180 days, you're trying to lock down a piece of land to build some property. Anti-competitive in the extreme, makes it extremely difficult. And most massage therapists are not made of money. They tend to come from limited financial resources, so the hurdles here are pretty significant. Again, the transfer of the license, I've been told that that's going to be changed, but I've been told things that didn't pan out before. So I'd like to point out the way the law currently reads, if my business is in my wife's name, if she were to pass away, my business would exist. So I've lost my wife and my livelihood. I'm a mad rascal. Last thing I want to point out, even though I have other points that I would certainly love to be a part of any discussion about what an ordinance should look like. In 2284, it discusses fees. It does not set those fees. It is my humble opinion that that's a direct violation of state law. Law 4324A24 states, notwithstanding any provision of law to the contrary, the act of a duly licensed massage therapist in performing a massage shall be deemed to be the act of a healthcare professional and shall not be subject to the collection of any form of state or local taxation regulations not also imposed on other healthcare activities. So charging them a fee would violate, I believe, that. I also know in discussions with the state board that other counties in Georgia are doing similar things, specifically targeting massage therapy. They just can't seem to find a way to separate what they consider the bad from the legitimately licensed therapist, but their approach so far has been extremely punitive to licensed professional massage therapists, just like this ordinance is punitive. But the licensing board and their representative representative from the district attorney's office are in discussions with the district attorney or soon to be held, and the governor's office, because of these kinds of situations. And from my discussions with them, and the state board, it appears that much of this ordinance violates many of the things they're currently having trouble with.
Thank you, sir. Jerry and Deanna Kendrick, excuse me. Sure.
Good evening.
Evening.
My name is Diana Kendrick, and I am a licensed professional massage therapist in your county. I have been so since 2011. And I stand here as a representative from the Matt and Leanne's Augusta School of Massage, all of these other ladies and gentlemen here that are my colleagues, if they would just former students. I've taught at the Augusta School of Massage for 2.5 years. So we represent a legitimate business in this county. I have numerous concerns. Matt touched on those, Leanne touched on those, but specifically how this is going to hurt my business is that I have an office complex and I have former graduates of this school that rent from me. There is some turnover. These girls will come, they rent from me for a little while, they will go somewhere else. So if your 2-mile radius is put into place, you've just chopped my head off as far as my business, in that I'm a therapist, but I also rent to these young women and men. I have concerns with why you would want to limit it, is bringing money into our county. I don't understand that. And our county is growing. I mean, that's really should be our concern. We're the ones that would need to be concerned about how many therapists. I don't understand why the county's trying to limit that. So if we're going to have a 2-mile radius limitation, are you guys planning, my questions would be, are you planning on limiting nail salons, hair salons, restaurants, car dealerships? I mean, is this going to go forward to all these other businesses, or is it just massage therapy that's being targeted? And do we even understand what massage therapy is? I have my husband here with me. This is a legitimate helpful business. Time constraints, that was another thing that was listed in there. My goal is to be finished with work by 6 o'clock, but I would really have some concern if my county's going to tell me when I can work and when I can't. To tell me that I have to be finished with work by 10 o'clock. I'm not usually working at 10 o'clock, but I have an issue if I think somebody's going to try to tell me when I can work and when I cannot. Again, that step on my livelihood to be able to take care of me and my family. There was another thing in there as far as an operator's license, which I don't even know what that is, requiring a financial statement and bank statements. So my other question would be, how many other businesses are we asking for financial statements and bank statements from? So my concerns are numerous. So I appreciate you letting me express those tonight.
Thank you for doing it.
My name is Jerry Kendrick. I just would like to say I'd like to talk about the massage part, but that's really not me. I think there's probably a misunderstanding of the word, and there are more therapists. My wife works on many people that are injured from many different types of athletic events, or just how many of y'all sitting up there today have probably got an ailment that needs to be fixed. Well, most of these therapists can fix it. So I think there's a misunderstanding. It's kind of like the bad apple. You don't throw the whole basket away because you got a couple of bad apples. But I'm speaking to you because I'm a property owner, resident, as well as for over 40 years in Columbia County, and business owner.
and we rent a lot of these new girls, and some, not very many, but a few, and they come out and they try to make it in a business. Some of them make it, some of them don't, but they're there for the client. And it's not about location. They don't come because the Waffle House is right there or the therapy right there. They come because they want that person, just like you go to your doctor, to work on you and to fix your stuff. And they know you and they know what's wrong with you, and it takes time to take care of you. It's just not in and out. That's really all I got to say. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you all. Gentlemen, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion from the commission? Or any other comments?
No, sir, I think we'll be addressing some of these issues and speaking to some of them.
I'm sorry, ma'am, if you'd fill out a form and bring it up, we'll try to get you before the meeting's over.
I believe you walked in late, ma'am. I've made a motion to postpone this vote until the next meeting anyways. But, I mean, you're welcome to fill out a form and speak before the end of the meeting. You won't lose any time.
If you'd like, you can come on up and speak while you're filling out the form, so we'll have a record of it.
Just please state your name and address, ma'am.
Good evening, Commissioners and citizens of Columbia County. My name is Sabrina Wade. My address is 113 Tyler Street. I am a licensed massage therapist, and I'm also the owner of Pass Me Not Mobile Massage Therapy. I am a 20-year retired Army veteran. I went to the Augusta School of Massage after I retired and earned my licensure for massage therapy. My business is mobile only. And for you to implement a moratorium on mobile massage therapy licenses, I feel like you're crushing the entrepreneurial spirit that would allow me to build up my clientele and generate enough revenue to where I can either purchase or lease an office space for my clients to come to. However, mobile massage works for me. It gives me flexibility to be able to go to my doctor's appointments. I'm also a disabled veteran. And at the same time, do something that I'm very passionate about. One of my clients in particular, we'll call her BJ. She is a retired combat veteran. She has numerous physical ailments that physical therapy and occupational therapy have failed to help her with, but I'm able to give her the relief she needs through massage therapy. She also has PTSD. Her home is her safe zone. She doesn't feel comfortable leaving her home to go to a spa or a doctor's office to get massage therapy treatments. But we've built a rapport, and she's comfortable with me coming to provide that service in her home. And finding out about this meeting at the last minute, I tried to read through the document, and in there you stated that registered nurses can provide in-home massage, but licensed massage therapists don't want us. That's what we're trained to do, so I'm baffled as to how a registered nurse is more qualified or more trustworthy to go into someone's home and provide massage therapy services than someone who went to school, did the background check, took the state licensing exam, which is not easy. Hello? We earned this.
I think that's already been addressed in the ordinance.
Okay, well,
Division.
I'll finish filling out the form. Who do you want me to give it to, sir?
Lady right here.
All right, well, thank you for hearing me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any commission comments? We have a motion and a second to table this ordinance and to have a moratorium for 60 days.
Yes, sir, until the May 17th meeting.
Any further discussion?
We'll readdress it.
All in favor, please raise your.
Oh, I apologize. It was actually supposed to be 60 days. I apologize. That is the wrong meeting. Let me amend that motion. June 21.
All right, we have an amendment to that motion. Do we have a second to the amendment?
Mr. Chairman, just to point out as a point of clarification that the moratorium is on occupational licenses.
Correct.
Okay, we just want to make sure that's in the record.
Implement a moratorium on new licenses, new occupational licenses.
Okay.
Until that time.
Any further discussion?
Do business.
The business
Business
license is the
license.
occupational license. It's the same, it's just the wording for it. Yes, terminology.
Yes, ma'am. I'll address that with you after the meeting directly, Ms. Keel. I'll be happy to speak to you. I understand that, ma'am. But that was actually another issue. 60 days satisfactory? Counselor, you think we can get this done?
Yes, ma'am. Would you come up and give us your name?
You
and
have
address?
to, we have to have your name and address for the record, ma'am.
I apologize. My name is Erin DeRoche. I live at 825 Harrington Drive in Grovetown. I'm a student of Leanne's. I was just recently licensed, and I applied for an occupational tax license to get a mobile massage therapist. My application was denied because they were bringing the ordinance here on. Am I going to be in limbo until June?
I believe that, I mean, I was not part of it, but I believe what happened is you were trying to do a home occupation, and that is not,
No, sir. Mobile?
but where's your home base?
Address list.
I don't have a business address because it's mobile, so I use my home because that's where I do my administrative things from. That's where I file my paperwork.
But we've never allowed home occupation.
No, sir. I'm not trying to see clients.
No, I understand that, ma'am, but
That's basically
as a mobile, that's what you're applying for. That's the old ordinance. It's prohibited with the current and existing ordinance.
So in order to get a mobile massage therapy license, do I just borrow somebody's address in, or how does that work?
You work out of another business.
Another establishment. That is the legal way that it has always been.
No.
According to our attorney and our documents, it is.
So it's run through the licensing office, and that's what they have stated, so.
Okay, so again, we'll be clarifying that.
In June.
Well, I'm willing to move this up. Let's go with the original date of May 17th of 30 days. The May 17th meeting of 2016.
All right, we're
So once
back.
again, I will read
Okay.
the motion again. I make a motion to table ordinance number 16-07, deleting Chapter 22, Business and Business Regulations, Article 4, reserved and establishing Chapter 22, Business and Business Regulations, Article 4, Massage Services, for further review until the Board of Commissioners meeting on May 17th, 2016, and to implement a moratorium on new occupational licenses for massage service until that time.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Motion and a second. I think we probably discussed it enough.
Yes, sir.
All in,
One clarification,
Sure.
where does it leave this young lady?
Well,
she has to look at the present ordinance, I think, because she has made application and define what really it says. Is that not correct?
We're putting a moratorium on,
new applications.
so her application's already in, and would it be under the current law? That's right. What you can do is you can do a 30-day moratorium on new business licenses, occupational licenses for new premises. So if someone wanted to get an occupational license and work at an fine, because what you're concerned about is expanding the footprint of the 2 miles. So if you're going to make any modification, I would say to moratorium on new occupational licenses for new premises. Does that make
I will amend my motion to include that language for new premises.
Do we have a second for that amendment?
Second.
All right. I hope the county attorney understands what we're about to do here, but we'll take up the amended motion first. All in favor of the amended motion?
What are we voting on?
We're voting on the final motion.
We approve the amended,
Final motion. I'm just making
we
sure.
approve the amended motion, the other is dead, so. All right, we move on to legal matters. We need a motion at this time, if you're inclined, to accept the request for the attorneys of Magnolia Valley to withdraw their request for the appeal.
So moved.
Second.
This does not have anything to do with the stop work order. That's being handled by the procedures. This is just to allow them to withdraw their request where they wanted an appeal that ruling.
That's correct.
Other discussion? All in favor? Okay. I believe, Mr. Driver, you have an item concerning the YMCA.
Yes, so this is something that the board has acted on previously. The deal has gone back and is set to close, and the lender's attorney has asked for a slight modification to what was done. This is a deal where the county has a right to repurchase the YMCA Gateway property under certain conditions. The YMCA wants to use that property as collateral for a loan. Due to that, the bank has asked that the county subordinate its rights to repurchase to that loan. So if there was a foreclosure, which unlikely to happen in the YMCA, but if there was a foreclosure, then
And which
they have rights
property
to
is
the
this?
property.
This is the Gateway property. We did a property swap. If you remember, we
Yeah.
brought this item before the board, and you signed a letter, but the
The
bank is...
10 acres that they have.
That's correct.
Yes, okay. We need a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Allow this subordination agreement to be amended.
It's so moved. Excuse me.
You have a second?
I'll second.
Question, Mr. Morris?
This is not a cosign.
No, sir, this is
No,
just,
no,
this is a subordination agreement. We're not in any way part of their loan,
This doesn't cause any other legal matters with any
none whatsoever.
property.
Essentially, what this means is that there's a problem on the loan, and they need to act on the security and through foreclosure, whatever, ownership of that property. We can't come in, and the county can't come in and says, no.
Sweep it away from the bank.
Further discussion? All in favor? Raise your right hand. Okay. We have any additional requests, Ms. Crowley? We do have an item concerning personnel. We'll take that up in open session. Commissioner Duncan?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve promoting Anthony Deckard from light equipment supervisor to shop manager at $23.44 per hour, promoting Anthony Taylor from, mechanic 1 to light equipment supervisor at $19.94 an hour, promoting Van Mayen from mechanic helper to mechanic 1 at $15.24 an hour, and eliminating the position of the mechanic helper.
This is just some reorganization in fleet services, I believe, Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it actually shows an annual savings to move this around, and this is also with the promotion of our new shop manager, or not the promotion, but the hiring of our new shop manager, and they're doing great things in fleet now. We're very proud of the changes out there.
Thank you, sir. Let's see, we got a motion and a second. All in favor? I believe I saw one candidate earlier. Is Vernon Collins still here? Is Vernon running for re-election as county coroner? Any other folks running for elected office? Vernon, glad to have you with us. Any other business to come before this meeting of the commission?
If I could, Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to comment on being involved with the CVB. This week they've had over 30 nationwide tourism writers visiting Columbia County. Very nice evening last night, and farm out Pine Knob.
I know.
And today in historic Appling, spending time throughout the county. I think now they're having dinner at Savannah Rapids Pavilion. So they'll go back to their respective homes and write articles encouraging people to come to Columbia County. Very impressive group. Real good to have them here. I think this is the first time such a group of that has been here. And I think Randy Duteau and Shelley Blackburn deserve a lot of credit for getting them here. I want to let you know there's a lot of outsiders out there that are very impressed with Columbia County. So
We had a real good lunch at the amphitheater today, and a lot of good conversations. Ladies from St. Louis, Minnesota,
one
all,
guy from Canada.
all at the
Yeah.
same table,
Yeah.
talking about what they enjoyed about traveling and making recommendations for particular places to eat or sights to see in different areas. So Commissioner Morris is correct. It really is an honor to have those folks here. Any other items that come before the commission? If not, we'll accept a motion to be out of here.
Make that motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor? We are adjourned.